Mladin, first day on the brandy new bike. What do you do first thing?
Yeah, funny question, because I got on the bike this morning and I'm thinking, okay, here we go again. We've got to start, completely from the start. And
I'll show you where the ignition is, and we do not touch the throttle after we turn it on until everything settles down. Until the fuel pump goes on, hit ignition, start from this side, just wait your fuel pump, everything goes,
rode out of the pits, and we knew straight away that we were starting from the start. It just felt nothing like the 08 bike, and so we started work, and I guess to give people a generalisation of how things went this morning. We started this morning around 10 o'clock and finished up at lunchtime at 12 o'clock, so we did 2 hours on the track. And realistically, my first stint on the track was just to feel the bike out. Everything was brand new, brakes were new, everything was brand new. So 2 laps, come in, let the guys have a feel of things, have a look at things, make sure everything's okay, then get back out again. And as a comparison, our quickest lap time here in the Superbike last year in the race was about a 35.9 or 8 or something like that, I believe. My first flying lap, the first time out on the track on the bike, was a 41.7. So that gives you an idea of how far away we are when we really first get rolling. And then the next time out it came down by a second, and then the next time out it came down by a second, and literally I took off a second every time I went out, and down into the 37s on the last lap before lunch. So now we're about 2 seconds off where we were on the Superbike last year. So, but in saying that, in Atlanta last week, where we were quite dominant, we won the race by a long way. Our best lap in the race was more than 2 seconds slower than last year's Superbike lap in the race. So I think 25.6 or 7 was quickest this year. I believe 23.5 was quickest last year, or it might have been 23.7, something like that. So we're 2 seconds off there. Right here now, we're about 2 seconds off, but that's understandable. Here we don't have long straights where the Superbike really can show its legs and really show its torque. We have a lot of turns here. The 17-inch wheels, they're a little bit nicer from side to side. So I wouldn't be surprised by the end of tomorrow if we're not nudging the old Superbike time. Do I think we're going to get in front of the old Superbike time? No, I don't. I think we can nudge up against it though. I think we're going to get close there. So somewhere within the 2 second vicinity to go in the next day and a half, and I think we should be pretty happy.
Do you think ultimately, with the new specs on the bikes and how limited the equipment is on them, that you can go faster than the old Superbike times?
No, I don't think so. It's very hard to say definitely not, because it all depends on what Dunlop gives us as well. One thing this racetrack has always been notorious for is going a lot slower at the end of the race than what you do at the start of the race. As we've seen in Atlanta last week, in the first race, my quickest lap was 2 or 3 laps from the end. That never happens at Infineon, ever. I remember a couple of years ago here, I ran, the end of the race, it was hard to get within a second and a half of what I did at the start of the race. So things are very different now. The races are shorter, wheel sizes are different. It means the tyres possibly can be a little bit softer. Maybe not wear out as much, or offer a little bit more grip, and on a racetrack like this, a little bit of grip makes a big deal, because you're never in the centre of the tyre, you're always on the side. So it'll be interesting to see where we go. I think from a consistency basis we will be quicker. I think the lap times will be tighter throughout the race here than what they've normally been in Superbike race, but again the races are shorter too, not as long.
Towards the end of the session, right before lunch, your guys put the hammer down and changed out the front end a little bit. I guess they were changing out offsets. You said in the long corner, so I guess the carousel, the bike wanted to stand up, you said. And Peter said, this should fix it.
Yeah, well, we in racing we have our theories that we believe from the past make certain things happen. Motorcycles have changed so much, though. Even in the time I've been racing a motorcycle or a road bike professionally for 17 years, in the last 17 years, motorcycles have changed so much in that time that things don't always work the same as what they may have back then, or even 5 or 10 years ago. So, in theory, we changed an offset to try and get something to happen, and we definitely found something there. But things don't. We have, as I said, we have all these theories and all these things on paper that have worked in the past. You can't rely on everything all the time for the future. Things change, motorcycles change, tyres change. I mean, the lean angle of a motorcycle now, with the grip that's offered now by the tyres compared to 20 years ago, is phenomenal. So straight away things are changing. You know what I mean? So you got to go with the times, and you've got to roll with the punches. And when you make a change, you got to not put it in here that it's better before you roll out. You got to let the stopwatch tell you and how you feel on the motorcycle as well.
Then I came around the corner, and you were finishing up a change to the rear of the bike, and it looked like you were working with linkage, and Peter pointed something out with the linkage, and before you said on the 08 you hadn't done any of that, so that's something you can start playing with now.
I think probably one of our conversations in Atlanta, we spoke about the 08 and how we were, after Atlanta, we were going to be finished with it. So Suzuki, we just didn't have anything for the motorcycle, and that with the 09 we were going to start being able to work again with some stuff, and straight away we have a couple of links now that we can test and try some different things. And so this morning we tried some offsets, we tried some links, we've tried shocks. This afternoon we'll try some different fork damping and springs and things like that, just really to try and get the bike in the ballpark. And so it's straight away we have a lot more stuff now to work with. There's no doubt about it, than what we had just a week ago. So, yeah.
Well, great, and congratulations on bringing the times down, and hopefully we'll see you get pretty close, if not beating those old Superbike times.
Well, that'll be nice. Thanks, guys.
I salute you, Marionette Man. I know the way you'd stand if you were in my band. I'd take your hand, we'd dance and dance.